And just like that, folks, we are back. That's right, back for more action here in the CIS group stage qualifiers. We have got more CIS bloodbaths ahead of us. We've got Nemiga versus Vega in another Game 1 series. And opening up, we've already got some interesting picks. You know, you've seen the Centaur Grimstroke combo on one side, Gareth, but I don't care about that. I don't know about you, but I love this magnificent beard on the other side. He looks a bit like you, really, if you were to like grow and make a little front ponytail, whatever they call those, you know?
Braids, yeah.
Braids.
Grow my hair out long, like when I was 17. Yeah, get it all long, get it braided, get a big hammer, get a cape. You got to have a cape, you know. Capes are what
I'm pretty
differentiate.
I'm pretty sure Berlin police would arrest you if you walked around like that. This is a random man with a hammer and a cape, wearing only underwear. Other than that, running around Spandau, clubbing people like he's Mario.
It's like well, was it not Disco Viking, Electro Viking? Oh God, what was his name? It was a Techno Viking. I'm an idiot. Yeah, Techno Viking in Dota 2. That's what we need a skin for Omni Knight. Valve, if you're listening, Techno Viking Omni. Thank you very much.
I haven't seen a theme though, right? The heroes so far all club people.
They are big, beefy, Nordic, hefty boys. They are chunky lads.
They are.
I mean, Omni Knight Sven, pretty solid opener. Omni can flip between position 3, position 5, depending on where you want to head it. Sven likely just going to be the pos 1. But when you put that goddamn thing onto that Sven from the Omni Knight, Heavenly Grace.
Yep. It's just ridiculous.
Feels good.
It's insane because, you know, you basically benefit each other because you just walk right. Everyone's really tanky now. You can't get through them. And of course, when you God Strength, that's even more gains. I always love to see this. Like, I feel if you're going to draft an Omni Knight, you need to have a Strength hero on your team. Like, whether it's like a support early on that can benefit, or it's one of these cores, which is more preferable. I think the problem with Omni Knight, though, is if you want to beat it in the lane, like, you just pick things that lane bully. Because I've tried him a lot, I've watched the pros try him a lot, and there's always this issue, is like, what do you level? You want to preferably have 2 points of degen aura, but unless you can run an aggressive lane, it doesn't work. And if you do that and it backfires, you're out of the game. And then at the same time, you've got these other two spells that are godly, they're amazing, but they cost a hell load of mana.
Yeah, I don't worry about Omni's laning at all, though. I think if he's position 5, he's basically just a damage sink, right? He walks into the enemies, he tanks up as much as he can to keep his safe lane core or carry alive and sustain through the lane. Omni doesn't care too much if he dies early on. He can go 0-6 in the first 10 minutes. Not really give a damn. It's mainly about that 20 to 25 minute acceleration period where you've ramped up with the Sven, you're ready to take towers, and you become that unstoppable force, right? You've got a carry that's hit critical mass, you put the Heavenly Grace on them, they become unkillable, they 1v5, and you're in a position of power where you can just move from objective to objective. Now, Nemiga have to start kind of angling into a specific direction, though, whether they want to add a little more team fight behind the Sven, whether they want to go for more catch and kill, we'll have to see, because they could quite easily go and grab up something like a Rubik here to disengage or re-engage with a Centaur Grimstroke. Disruptor from our previous game would not be a bad pick either. But looking back at some of Nemiga's drafts, they've liked Kotl, they've liked Wind Ranger, and they've really actually loved picking up Slardar recently to give them a bit more of that reinitiation potential. As Rubik does come out, but for Vega over Nemiga.
I mean, the Slardar could work very well with Sven. I mean, I'm just curious to go back to that point. Like the 6 deaths in the first 20 minutes of Omni Knight. Is that something you've seen from pro players, or is that like your personal experience? Is that something you convinced yourself of is okay when you're playing Omni 5?
I don't play Omni 5, so it's mainly from pro plays. I think like 6 deaths. If you're position 5 Omni, 6 deaths in 10 minutes isn't atrocious. It's something you can get away with because you're still likely going to have brown boots, a magic stick, and you're going to have your skill set. Position 5 Omni doesn't need items. He just needs levels. That is really what you're aiming for.
You want to get to that level 10 quickly, though, right? You want to start getting those talents online because I believe he has the GPM talent at 10, which is a pretty big boon. Does he have an XP talent? I always forget. I'm pretty sure he does. Or did they remove it and added something else? Because I remember they tweaked his talents a little bit because people weren't taking, for example, the purification ones, the buffs to those. So yeah, you have
purification
like
ones.
Purification AoE at 10 or 90 DPM. Like, what are you going to choose here? Come on, let's be honest.
I wonder.
And then you're like a 15. 90 damage or 35 XP. Now, that one is a fair point, right? Because if you're playing POS 5 Omni Knight, you know you're going to die. Do you really want to take XP gain?
Yes.
Really? For the longest spawn times later? Like, because I've had this debate, like there's an argument with certain heroes, because Jakiro, I think, is an example of a different hero, right? Where, because you run out to your lane, you're probably going to die and throw down a macro power. There is sometimes an argument to not taking XP talent, where you're just going to be a higher level and longer time on the sideline.
Yeah, I mean, that is reasonable. But equally, you want level 4 liquid fire on Jakiro, you want level 2 macro power, you want to actually be out on the map. And you've got to think about the stats you get from it as well. Getting levels means you become more tankier and are less likely to die. So potentially allows you to survive, get off another purification, another heavenly grace or something, as this Omni Knight in particular.
Speaking of dying, Vega, they've got the one that can get away with it, but I don't know about you, Gareth. I feel like I'm seeing a pattern here. It feels the same as the last game so far, right? One team are like, we got this guy that can die, this carry can't feed easily. The other team's like, we got saves. We've got Astral, we've got nice little Guardian Angel to work with, Heavenly Grace. Good luck killing anyone.
Well, there's the Kotl. Something that they have been picking up quite consistently here. And that means position 3 Omni Knight. So the pos 5 Omni goes out the window pretty much. 1 Sven, 2 OD, 3 Omni, 4 Earth Spirit, 5 Kotl, I believe. So that rounds things out and gives them some team fight and disengage. Also does very well against the Stampede of Centaur, right? You've got the ability to jump in with Earth Spirit, Kotl, Sven, dump a bunch of spells in with a Santi's Eclipse on top. Vega don't have really natural BKB carrying or early BKB cores. Neither Sniper nor Wraith King wants to go BKB before 3rd or 4th item. So that's going to, again, change the dynamic of their item builds, likely just to try and match up to this very quick Nemiga lineup. It may not look it, but if you think about Sven acceleration, the laning phase you get from the OD in this situation, a Kotl who can farm jungle, they do ramp very quickly into their level 6s and their primary items. But the final pick Sniper, we have to come back to it, right? They've picked this for a specific reason. Multiple specific reasons. A, lane against OD. This GPK Sniper should have a very good time. Earth Spirit does have the ability to gap close, but you've got 2 supports on Vega that can make that transition, that rotation into mid, TP to save, maybe even look for kills with Shrapnel, Telekinesis, and Stroke of Fate. You can find turnaround kills quite nicely. So I think Vega have answered a lot of the aspects of Nemiga's draft that they needed to, but you do have to worry about the OD Sven core against that Wraith King Sniper, because Nemiga have the jump, they've got the team fight, they've got the catch, and they've got very, very quick acceleration, whereas Vega, I think, need a little more time to get online with their items.
I agree, but I think the thing I like about Vega is the supports, because, you mentioned how they can TP to mid defend it, and you look at their draft, you look at their heroes, right? If Nemiga want to jump any of these cores, they have chosen 2 defensive supports that not only can save the day, but can offer that turnaround, right? Bolt to reduce the trade, and then also Grimstroke, just the turnaround, right? You can either run away with the Inkswell, or you can run someone down and just skew them through. And I think this is going to come down to the mid lane right now. Like, we usually think of Sven in this type of lineup, like he's going to decide it, but I feel like he's going to want a little bit more time, and if OD falls behind, this isn't the Skywrath matchup from last game, right? This isn't one where the hero on the other side can't go and farm up in the jungle efficiently. Sniper is pretty damn decent at that.
Yeah, and this is also one where Sniper's going to force OD completely out of lane without putting himself in too much danger. You think about how Sniper shoves him out of lane, just right-click, 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 kill the creep wave, shove it out, maybe go farm jungle, 1 or 2 camps, but Earth Spirit, I'm wondering where he focuses the majority of his efforts. Mid lane's not going to be an easy one to try and gank up unless they get that nice Astral setup into the rolling boulder. So we might actually just see Astral sit bottom for the main part of the first couple of minutes and then transition top to try and play with the Omni Knight. I think it's going to be a little bit awkward for Astral, but we'll see. Earth Spirit players, they know how to pull rabbits out of hats.
They might have to do just that in this situation. Got a light pause coming on. Shouldn't be too long before we get underway with that. While I just find more betting rammed down your throat. Where is the right game?
Claims another.
Alright, I give up. I can't find the right bet to show to people. Screw this. Let's have a look at what the lane's actually going to be, because I wouldn't be surprised if Nemiga do start this as a tri lane. You have got a lot of kill potential, right? With the double stun and the nuke that comes out from Illuminate at level 1. Of course, there is a tanky fellow to deal with, and he just walked into hell on earth. Last hero, not sure he'll be the last to die, but he definitely should be the first. Illuminate charged up. And there's your first blood. Who they want to give it to? They're trying to give it across the Mellow. And they will. Nice opener. Sticking his Centaur's head in the dirt and keeping him there is not a bad way to start the lane. It is this type of hero that's known for asserting dominance in the laning phase. You can already see on the other side, they've started to try lane up top, but they won't find anything with it. And there's Chosen One. He's being smart about this, although now they're converging. He just shoot himself. The problem is, can they get close enough? They have to level the lift, and oh, there's a bit of miscommunication there. Zani throws out the stun now. You can't dive the tower. Wraith King only has 2 armor. That was... I feel like that's a costly mistake there, Gareth, because now you don't have Fable.
Also, Fishman did not level up Inkswell. Very interesting situation. A little bit of miscommunication, I think, definitely on the cards there, where one person got a glimpse and thought they could continue, and the rest of the team wasn't really in position to carry on that aggression. A little unfortunate, but we'll see what they do moving on forward. They do get the double bounty rune top at the very least, trading 2 for 2 across the map. Now, top lane, Omni Knight is kind of going to... He's just going to be zoned out of this lane. Can't really get to the creep wave just yet. I'm watching Astral, though, as my primary focus. I want to see what this Earth Spirit does. He looked towards mid, got spotted out by Dire Observer Ward, which is in a very nice position to look for the rotation of the Earth Spirit. But he's going to go for the wave stacking or the pulling through, which, so far, Rubik, so bad, yet so good, is doing an exceptional job at zoning this Earth Spirit and making sure that he is punished for his insolence with the body blocks. May even look for a kill.
Well, he can't now. He gets the block. Moves in time. Astral misplayed that a bit, and he might pay a price. He'll go for the Fairy Fire and the TP away, and he'll be able to make it. But this is kind of the price you pay for not picking a Stout Shield early on. He did go for that Orb of Venom, which you see so typically in the lane. Chosen One's the one being punished. The Wraith Fire Blast comes out, and Zani will get the kill. Meanwhile, mid, so far pretty even, but this... I feel like this is quickly level 3, level 4 going to start to favor Sniper, right? Because you won't be able to get anywhere near him for the Astrals without trading poorly.
Yeah. Level 1 to 3 is fine for the OD. You can control lane equilibrium quite nicely. Your attack damage is high enough such that you can take last hits and denies away from the Sniper. But GPK, once he cracks, level 2 headshot, level 2 take aim, which he's closing in on very quickly, the OD will not only suffer in CS, but also will start bleeding out in terms of regen. You'll be ferrying salves, you'll be ferrying tangos and fairy fires, where Sniper will be at a safe distance, not really too worried, just stacking Wraith Bands and increasing that advantage over you, little by little.
The new Sniper does prove himself formidable, but also feels pretty dirty with this new take aim. Meanwhile, in the mid, Astral was just pulling it through. He almost paid a price. He'll deny himself in the tower. So bad, did get the gold and the XP. So, a little bit of conundrum there. As so far, this Earth Spirit, he helped with the first blood, but since then, not really having the impact you'd hope out of this type of position for.
Exactly. That was my worry, right? Talking about him. It's difficult to move in onto mid unless you have a setup Astral, but they're going to look for now. Yep. They've got the Astral, but Rubik's here.
So bad. That Astral, I mean, one Astral was right, the other one was very wrong, and as a result, one will die for it at this rate. Hitting him with the headshots, needs another one, and the hit goes out. So bad gets the kill. Mellow can't find anything in return. In fact, so bad tanked the entirety of the harassment coming out from the OD.
Yeah, Sniper there. Just gets to sit in his lane, get some experience, continue CSing. Has a shared tango in his backpack, which he needs to transition over, but he'll bring out more regen, no problem. A salve and some more Wraith Bands. And this is where things get obnoxious for the OD. He has boots up, which is going to increase his lifespan quite significantly, honestly. That does give him the chance to run away from the shrapnel and the kill threat from the Sniper. But it's not going to be easy getting last hits at all for Mellow in that mid lane.
You quite happy?
His name's Mellow. His name's Mellow, by the way, on the OD. That's what I'm calling him.
I think he's going to mellow out at this rate, would be the more appropriate way to use his name.
He needs to. Honestly, he's going to start getting panic attacks if it continues at this rate against an OD.
Headshots is getting on him. GPK still pretty confident. Are you happy? And I've asked you, are you happy to see this resurgence in Sniper that's slowly creeping back in? Because we were talking and you mentioned you are a big fan of the troll Sniper meta. I know that's something you try to keep secret, but
why do I talk to you in private when you're just going to leak my messages onto stream like that? Yeah, I do kind of miss the old Sniper troll Juggernaut spin to win patch, because I'm a filthy toxic Sniper player. I do like the fact that Sniper is coming back. I'm still in a position where I heard a roll.
Yeah, he was rolling under his own tower. That's how scared he is of the new sniper, okay?
No, exactly. I'm still in a position where I'm not 100% sure what like the ideal build on sniper is. Is he going to kill OD here, actually? Giving it a good old try.
I'm looking top because they're trying to kill Chosen One. Oh no, the creep, so bad. He can't get there quick enough. If that creep hadn't fallen back at that stage, they would have been able to close the distance and lift him. Living life on the edge, level 3 on the Omni Knight right now. You can pair that on the other side. There is the soon-to-be dead horse, but he does have level 4 at least, so he's doing better than the Omni Knight. And that level 5. Roll through, connects, stomp, gets sidestepped. The Zitrax will will him down, Illuminate being charged up. Sidesteps it. He's just trying to farm the creeps as best he can before he gets farmed by the heroes in Nemiga.
Nicely done. Top lane bounty rune.
Thinks well on the Chosen One, but he did actually get the Heavenly Grace out. He's been holding on to a Mango this whole time because you can already see, like, casting both those spells. 180 mana on a hero that, well, doesn't even have double that.
It is incredibly intensive. Double bounty rune bottom for the Radiant team, though, so things do even themselves out, at least in that regard. But here we start to see the movement from the Dire support. We already watched the Rubik kind of track back and make sure he was keeping tabs on the Earth Spirit. Grimstroke can look into mid, potentially for a kill onto that OD. Now that Sniper has reached level 6, Assassinate gives you that additional reach to get kill attempts going. They're still sticking around top on the Wraith King, though. Makes me feel like they want to slam the Omni a little more. Last hero Centaur down bot has been able to drag the wave back to his tier 1. So things going well for the Dire. But things aren't going incredibly poorly for the Radiant. You know, you've got this Sven
who
who is...
Though. Chosen One's been caught out. Heavenly Grace is there, but the Inkspell charging up will slow him down. Doesn't last very long. They'll keep him alive.
Oh. He's got a salve as well. And they rotate not just the Kotl, but the Earth Spirit up here as well.
Yeah, so they don't get the kill, but they have forced everyone up this lane, which means Centaur is alone to farm. Of course, Zitrax's already been having a good time farming, but the difference here is that now the Centaur can't get jumped like earlier.
Yeah, last hero now is very unlikely to have a kill threat proposed upon him. But you've got a Hand of Midas Sven at this point. He got it 6 minutes, just a little bit before 6 minutes. So his acceleration is going to be that much faster, which unlocks the jungle a little more for the OD, allows the Omni to catch up by staying on lane. And Zitrax can move incredibly quickly into that big damage dealing position that we all know and love from the Sven.
Meanwhile, Wraith King, he's going to be a lot slower on the Midas. He didn't go for it straight away. He picked up the phase boost first, which will slow him down by a decent margin. Last hero, I wonder what he's actually going to build in this game. I don't think you go for like a Rush Blink Dagger, right? You could try and up the aggression, but you mentioned it before. Vega know they're not going to be quick into these fights. They want to buy a little bit more time. But how much can you buy when Zitrax picked up the Midas this quick?
Yeah, I'm wondering about the Centaur as well. That Ring of Health is going to give him multiple directions to go. If he wants to go for the pipe, he can to deal with the Magnetize, the Kotl Illuminate. He can go for Crimson Guard to kind of handle the Sven and some of the OD right-click damage. I don't know about not going Blink, though. Blink doesn't seem atrocious here, especially when you have the Grimstroke. Such a valuable pickup on the Centaur. Like a Ring of Health, maybe a Hood. You know, Brown Boots Hood into Blink could be good here for last hero. I would really like to see that. Then you get that Soulbind, Blink Stomp, double edge, the quadruple edge, and the initiation comes really nice, thick, and fast from this Vega side if you're able to get that going.
A little bit of probing initiation on Chosen One on the top. They can never really kill him anymore, though. Not with the level 2 Heavenly Grace, as they're learning quickly. Right now, you just got to look at who's farming better. I mean, you know, on the one hand, we mentioned the Sven, but on the other, without Midas as active, you look at the Wraith King and the Sniper, and specifically Sniper compared to the OD. Like, you know this guy, even when he gets a Midas, there's an argument that he will fall behind GPK at this rate. I mean, he already has, but further so. You can already see him toying. Like, this is the one good thing for OD, right? It's because you've got that Astral, you can always dodge out the Assassinate damage, which usually is a lane winner at this stage for a Sniper. Yeah,
absolutely is. Got to say that OD keeping his net worth pretty high in a disadvantageous matchup. Sven clearing Ancients. I was like, oh god, strength is going on. Fair enough.
It's not like he wants to fight anytime soon, but they do in the bot lane. Stampede comes out. Last hero moves on to Fervian. Big Fate Bolt damage, and they'll kill him off pretty quick. He's old, he's fragile, he had one foot in the grave. They just put the other one in there with him.
Yeah, nice pressure. You know that Keeper of the Light, one of the supports that can sit behind tier 1s and defend and clear through waves very nicely, was trying to get his job done, but trades his life for the Stampede cooldown pretty much in that situation. But he returns immediately, right? This tier 1's not going to fall anytime soon, and Fervian will get farm, will get experience, he's going to get towards that level 6, have that team fight ulti ready and available in the next minute or so.
Exactly. He forced the best case scenario, right? Because like, you know they're going to stampede and kill you. But if you can do it before you have to TP somewhere, now you just have full advantage. And they want to actually punish last hero. What they don't realize is he's dangling himself. They're rotating in now. Astral tries to move away, but he can't. They'll move him back in the Wraith Fire Blast, stomp him up, and he's down. Strax thought about going for the double stun. Realized that's not a good idea, and the courier needs to move quickly. Be able to move away in time. Further in here. Strax moving in. Stun comes out onto Rubik, moving in. Mellow gets one hit off, but they're scared of last hero right now. The stomp connects onto 2. They get the tower, courtesy of the Skelly Bros, and Zani will zone everyone away because they realize there's an army incoming. Even if you have a Sven, if they get one hit each off, that's a big chunky HP gone straight away.
Yeah, and they get the tier 1 down bottom lane, so now they open up that Radiant jungle themselves. Wraith King comes down to the lane that he belongs in. Dire safe lane carry comes down bot, takes the tier 1, takes the Radiant jungle. Bounty rune's going to be gathered up as well. It does put the 2 offlaners now in a 1v1 situation.
With a hefty XP lead for one of them.
Yeah, level 5 Omni against a level 8 Centaur, a Vanguard and a Cloak. So he's actually going to go for the double tanky items before that Blink Dagger, it looks like. I wonder if he finishes Hood before Blink. I kind of would like to see just like Vanguard, Cloak, Blink Dagger here, honestly.
I think you could just even go Blink Dagger next. Because you like think magic damage, there's a decent amount on Nemiga, but really your concern is if you just go Beefy Boy and you don't have Stampede, you're going to be ran down by this OD. Slowly but surely.
Precisely.
That might be the better choice. Rubik almost has 6 as well. What's the big steal here, like, in this type of game? Is it something like the Astral or the Purification, do you feel? Like a nuke plus save?
It's like Stormhammer, honestly. Like, whenever you think about Rubik, you think about stuns, AoE stuns, anything that can turn or swing a team fight immediately. Because you, as a Rubik, you want the immediacy. It's super important to have that snap decision-making where you take a spell and you flip a fight on its head within a matter of seconds. And I think that, you know, a Purification or a Guardian Angel, something like that in maybe the mid to late game could definitely do the trick. But early to mid game, it's most certainly about stuns and magic damage.
Yeah. I mean, and all of them are great because obviously the other thing for him is when you're a Rubik, you're looking at this. It's that kind of notion is if I'm in a game, I'm a Rubik, there's an Underlord. This is the best case scenario, right? Because I'm like, Firestorm going to farm up is great. Yeah. All of those abilities we mentioned, you could use to farm up. So that makes you feel pretty good. Just a little preview for Mello there. That's what we were talking about. If you use the Astral, there's immediately an Assassinate every time from anywhere because GPK has stupid range on this ability. That's a new.
It's a little bit silly.
That's a new categorization of range. Stupid range is anything above 2,500. Yeah.
Nice.
So Nimbus has stupid range. Ironically, on an int hero. Educating the masses is important, Gareth. We need to make sure the next generation of Dota know the important terminologies.
Get that 200 IQ going.
I do try.
Yeah, Centaur has Blink queued. I like this. I'm a big fan of what Last Hero has built up. Omni Knight is heading into Hand of Midas, so it looks like Nemiga trying to scale with that Sven and the OD just a little bit later.
They want to go on him here. Stampede. There it is coming out. They're going to move straight in. Rubik trying to get a lift. Doesn't last very long in that situation, though. They'll put out the Heavenly Grace on the last hero to make sure there's no turnaround, and the Ignis gets dropped. Will-O-Wisp is down. The last hero trying to move out of this quick enough, but just about gets away. Out of range, will TP out of this. In the meantime, Omni Knight does fall to GPK. Just poking and whittling at them, and look who's been left behind. Astra's like, where the hell's my team? They ran, buddy. You're a little bit late. Easy double kill for GPK. You know, sometimes in these situations, you let you go sniper. He's got short legs. He can't really easily chase after people. But when the kills come to you, you don't really have to worry about your mobility issues.
That is like the prime example of when like an individual player or two individual players do the exact right perfect thing so crisp and clean yet still lose out. It's insane. Earth Spirit rolls in, gets the perfect initiation thanks to the Kotal Ignis Fatus, gets a sick 4-man kick with Magnetize across the majority of Vega, and there is just no follow-up. There's no Sven. There's no OD. There's just a couple of supports up there, and they still lose the Omni Knight. Just a tragic sequence of events for the Radiant team. Also losing out on that top lane. No map control right now for Nemiga, as Vega very likely to smoke up here with a Soul Centaur Stomp under their own shrine. I'm surprised they aren't just smoking up and moving, because Soul binds Stampede in 30. They should have a decent team fight set up ready for them now. But they're just going to walk straight into tier 1. That's how strong they feel. They don't need to smoke.
They just want to make it obvious because, like, you just want this towering out, right? And if you can just do it in this way that Nemiga doesn't want to challenge you, you'll feel fine with that. Considering both the carries have Heavenly Grace on, they're willing to admit that no one wins in that type of fight. They'll just back away.
Level 3 Heavenly Grace on a Wraith King feels good, man.
And you got to
He's 1,200 gold away from Relic.
Exactly.
This is good.
And this is different from the last game where we saw Wraith King, right? There's no flip around from getting that Radiance, right? It's not like there's a Shadow Demon that's going to use you against you. In this situation, this is the perfect game for Radiance, right? Screw the OD a little bit. Sven, you know, it's the type of heroes that instead of relying on a lot of attack speed like a troll, if they miss one big attack, it can decide everything. Because Sven's usually known as that 2-tap hero, right? I move in, I stun you, I hit you twice, you're dead.
Nice little kickback play top by Astral. Gets them the double bounty rune. Again, a 2-for-2 trade across the map, so nothing lost, nothing gained, really, by either side. And it's mirror movement time. We see this very often. Radiant plays top half of the map into that Dire jungle for the top tier 1. The trouble is when the Dire are mirror moving you in this scenario, having already taken the bottom tier 1, they are pressuring your tier 2, which is very low on HP. They have access to your jungle in towards the mid lane where they've taken the tier 1 there as well. So it's natural pathing for the Dire team to actually be able to cut you off, TP to anywhere they want to, move around the Roche pit. They've just got easy avenues of access everywhere you want. So now we need to have Fervian making plays like this, where he's hiding down south in the trees, throws out his Ignis Fatuus. He's going to try and delay the inevitable here. Maybe with a Stampede will catch up to them.
They need to back out. They don't realize this yet. Stormhammer connects on the 2. Godstrength Citrax going in. With the kill, Sanskas gets dropped. They get both. Make sure there's no mana for the second life for Wraith King and no turnaround opportunity for the side of Vega.
I'm sorry, but where did the Wraith King go?
To hell, but not back again.
Jeez Louise. Lost all of his mana, had a mango ready, but he died so damn quickly. The Zitrak Sven, level 14, pops his level 2 God Strength, Echo Sabers them into the ground. And it all starts with a Kotl. High ground ward, gives him the vision, he's clearing out waves, he's playing that sneaky defensive wave clearing support role. And he's baiting people in.
It feels like right now, Vega are too reliant on Stampede. Like, last hero finally has that Blink Dagger. If you imagine you wait for the Blink Dagger in that situation and Centaur's there, you can maybe make something happen, but I feel like they're just getting a little bit too cocky. They feel themselves a little bit too much, and when you're playing into a tier 2 like that, you know Nemiga are going to come and punish. Like, this is an area that C-Track says, I can kill you and then farm some jungle creeps. I feel good.
I don't know. I don't know if that's true. Like, I feel that in that situation, it's natural for the Dire to be bot. It's natural for the Radiant to be top. I think expected value there for the Dire team is they take tier 2 and the Radiant don't defend. We saw it in the last game, right? Where defending bottom tier 2 as the Radiant against Dire, when vision advantage is Dire favored, number advantage is Dire favored. The Radiant, if they defend bot, they lose out in multiple ways. They lose map control, they lose team fight, they lose heroes, they lose jungle camps. So expected maneuver there, you know, from Vega's perspective of Nemiga is just to push top tier 1. But they don't. They come and make the unexpected play, which is to kill and get 2 very big kills. Okay, they don't get the tier 1 top lane, but that's still readily available for them. They delay a push bottom, they get Sven up on the board, and he is accelerating so quickly into that early BKB, which they are going to be heavily reliant on.
I think maybe there's an argument, like, in their eyes, because all the tasks for Vega are up, it's hard to justify, like, making the play top over bot, right? Like, while you still have control of that area, maybe you make the play because you realize there's got to be a gold lead starting to build for Vega, right? You know this sniper's been popping off. You know that the Zany's on course for a decent time on the Radiance. And you can find that value. And Kotl, as we saw, is the type of hero that, like, if you force a Stampede out there and he maybe still dies, like, the Stampede is then not available. And then it can't be used on your Sven or your OD because, as I was mentioning before that fight, or just after rather, they were still at that point reliant wholly on Stampede to do anything.
Oh, for sure. Like, coming back to your point, sort of, I gave the Vega perspective of things, right? Kind of expecting where the Radiant are going to be. But it's a nice little window into the mindset of some of these players and teams. Nemiga there, it's a really great break from the normal paradigm of how you play. When a team is ahead, they are very often the ones setting the tempo, right? That's what we're used to. You know, Team A is ahead, they make a move for the enemy safe lane tier 1, and then the team that's behind kind of copies them, and they make that mirror movement, and they go up to the opposite side of the map, and that's what you kind of get expected to, and you can be lulled into this rhythm that you're playing and kind of marching to the beat of the enemy's drummer, you know? You're not playing to your own music, you're playing to your enemy's music. So Nemiga there, they just snap straight into it, and they say, hang on, we're not playing your game, we're playing our game. And they make damn sure that they are still holding on to any possible initiation efforts they can.
Pause ends, we're back into the game, but as we mentioned, it's the 3K, 4K net worth lead now for Vega. I think the biggest comparison, like, usually in this scenario, you like to look at the biggest difference between the two comparative positions, right? And right now, I'm noticing a big difference between the pos 4s and the pos 3s. And those are noticeable and important here because these are the type of roles that build your initiation in most games. And especially when you're an Earth Spirit that is this poor at almost the 20-minute mark, you're not feeling good about your game at all.
It's real rough. it's real rough as Spirit. We knew he was going to have a rough game, though, when that sniper was picked. It was always going to be a reasonably difficult one for Astral. Not going for Urn or anything, is he? Going straight into the Veil just to try and amp up the magic damage from his Magnetize, from that OD. Sanity's Eclipse. Now the Yaya. Ayaya. The Kaya and Blink Dagger on top of the Hand of Midas on that OD now done. So you've got even more forms of catch, but also the Astral into Blink disengage for the OD if he gets jumped by the Centaur as well. It's going to be very handy for him.
Oh, that's still on the Heavenly Grace. Perfect to make sure no one really gets initiated on But So Bad, who has got his Aether Lens now and is probably going towards the Blink Dagger next. We'll have it a long time before we see any big super useful item on Astral, because the thing about going for this Veil is you get the Veil and then you go for like 2 fights. And if those 2 fights don't pay off, it's a wasted item at that stage. Especially when you consider where Nemiga's damage is as the game goes on, right? It's in this pure damage from OD and this physical damage from the Sven.
Rubik has picked up a 19-minute 30 bounty rune.
You know, he's a banker now. He's not a hero, he's a banker. He's just stocking up for the late game.
Gold. So 20 minutes in, we're looking at Radiance on the Wraith King. We've got Maelstrom, Hurricane Pike on Sniper. So you've got damage and disengage. You've got the tanky big boy, Wraith King on the front lines. Aether Lens you've mentioned on the Rubik as well. Vega Squadron feel pretty much ready to fight. This is prime time for them. They can move forward, play aggressively, get towards positions from which they can launch themselves into the Roche Pit primarily, I think is their plan. So swinging up into the Northern Shrine is probably going to be their primary objective. Try and play off into top tier 2, mid tier 2, that area, so they can bounce back into Shrine. A smoke into that spot will also manage to shut off some of the Sven's farm, because that's the triangle in which he's been really abusing his acceleration rate. Now with a BKB of his own, Nemiga probably feel strong themselves, knowing what they're going into at this point. Having the OD and the Sven be so rich at this point. It's a real close game. 4K lead for Vega, yes, but both teams most certainly feel like they are in a position from which they can win the game.
And that's the thing. It's like, you look at Nemiga's lineup, they just got the Blink Dagger on Zitrax. They're going to make a play with the smoke straight away into the bot lane where they know the Wraith King is farming. But this is the beauty of Sven. I like to think of him in like the same category as Chaos Knight. These big power spikes out of any item. And use it straight away on the Rubik. Roll through, doesn't connect on Azani. Boulder Smash gets sidestep. They'll let him get away. Not the best kill to reveal the Blink. But this is what I was saying. It's like, this is a type of hero, right? You think of Chaos Knight as this hero that doesn't farm well, but once he gets an item, it's a huge power spike. Well, Sven is a hero that does farm well, and every item is a huge power spike.
Absolutely. But you take note of where they take that fight, right? They very purposefully go through their own jungle because they want to clear wards, they want to deward sentry, get rid of dire observers, take control of this area so they can gain another, 4 or 5 jungle camps for the Sven to farm through. But it's also about forcing pressure onto the tier 1 bot, because you want to move the Dire team down towards bottom lane. You do not... Like, it's the opposite of what I was saying 2 minutes ago, right? The Dire want to play towards the Northern Radiant Shrine to take control of Roshan. What does the Radiant want to do? They want the Dire to not bloody well do that. So they move bottom lane, they try and force that effectiveness away from Roshan, away from their top and mid-tier 2s. So they're, waving their flags and waving their arms in the air, saying, hey, look at me, I'm over here, we're forcing a fight, and trying to make the Dire react and move. But you could see Vega Squadron, they just give up the Rubiks, and they say, fine, you take the Rubik, we're still going to hold our ground up here, defend our tier 1 top, farm away, and now we're going to repurpose ourselves. Position up towards top with the Wraith King, Sniper into the triangle now, and I wouldn't be surprised to see both teams go for some kind of smoke. Yeah, okay. Nemiga already have.
Okay, Mello, I thought he was going to go for the Astral. He was just out of range though, last hero moved away. There is a smoke rotation. That should now be obvious considering that move by OD right next to a Centaur that has Stampede. We'll just back up a little bit. Oh, stun coming out. And roll through as well. Rubik's a target. You just died here a few seconds ago, buddy. I mean, you're getting closer to your side of the map with each of these deaths. Yeah.
And I'm not sure about the Rubik's positioning there. The first death was fine, but the respawn into death there, that's a lot of time wasted, right?
Yeah.
30 seconds dead, then respawns, and another 30, 40 seconds dead. That's a solid minute and a half to 2 minutes in which you could have been smoking and playing aggressively. So you've effectively wasted a lot of your timing around the Maelstrom Pike Radiance timing on your Sniper Wraith King. But on the flip side, now you have BKB Sniper, so we could argue that this is the more important power spike and move to make.
Moving up top, the tower has already been felled though. And I think the thing that Nemiga are probably aware of, they started playing this top area, right? Because you look bot, and the one thing Rubik did do before he died, like any good support, he got a ward down. And you know it's in there somewhere, but you spent so much money on sentries finding them last time. You don't want to do this again. So they
Both
just
teams want Roche.
Yeah, clearly. DD on the Wraith King as well. Radiance turned off. But the Midas is coming off cooldown, so just as the smoke will end, he'll look for something to eat. And look at this.
Radiant
smoke.
do have that.
Are they getting around them?
Oh.
The problem is with the tier 1 still here, this is so hard of a move to make for Nemiga.
Yeah.
Like, this is always the frustration. This is always like why there's an argument. I know Blitz especially likes to talk about it a lot. If you keep your tier 1 alive for like 30 minutes, it's amazing how easy it is to win a game of Dota.
Yeah, this is why Team Liquid went for that pre-creep spawn level 1 tier 1 mid push, right?
Gotta get rid of it.
I can't remember what tournament that was at, but with the lone druid bear, they just tried to go for it.
That's a while ago. Oh, Vega? Danny down to half HP. He's pushing for that tier 2 in the mid. BKB. OD just backs down right now. Stampede coming out. God Strength well moving in. The clears are there, but GPK just going to run away with his own BKB. The Soul Binds link 2 together. Astral gets dropped down with the Planet Clips, doing a lot of damage. Astral going to get low, goes down. And now they need to turn around and run. The buyback comes out the Earth Spirit, but Mello on half HP running away. Xani, they still haven't killed him off once. They do find the kill on the sniper. Now it's the Zitrax Joe. The cleave's coming out. Great Fire Blast. They can't allow him to get a chance to stun. It's coming off cooldown soon. Moving forward. Fishman, one more hit might do it. Oh, the miss chance. Mello, he can't quite get it. Xani moving again. Ray Fire Blast comes out. Force out the Silver Hammer. Another stop. Last hero jumps in. Find the kill on OD. The buyback comes out. Rubik. Reincarnate up. Zitrax trying to run away. Getting pretty low. Nice roll through. Astral buying a little bit of time just to make a gap between the enemy team and his Sven and ensure that he lives. They will get the rest out. Buybacks committed on both sides, but the value clearly gained by Vega.
OD having such a difficult time sticking on that fight. Yeah, Nemiga actually coming out ahead there. Interesting. The Rubik buyback, the Earth Spirit buyback, but the dieback on Earth Spirit I thought would tip things in the favor of Vega.
Yeah.
Look at how much experience they get, and sure, they get the bigger advantage in experience. I think the gold is reasonably minimal. It's like 315, 320 gold difference. Damage output was like identical between the two teams. Wraith King with 5,000 damage, Sven with 5,000 damage. But again, this OD got some big clicks in onto a couple of heroes, but then the sniper pops BKB, he force stabs, he walks back, he drags the Sven with him, forcing Zitrax to kind of chase and dawdle away after a sniper, waddling past through the river on through the fight, where Vega could kind of extend the fight further south. It's getting to be a little awkward for both teams sticking and latching onto targets because the amount of lockdown is actually reasonably minimal from the Radiant team, and on the Dire, it's basically focused around the Centaur Grimstroke. If they don't get their combo off perfectly onto a couple of heroes and blow them up immediately, numbers advantage just isn't there.
You know, some people will be sitting there watching and going, oh, Zitrax is just playing like my typical carry in my pub game, right? He doesn't focus targets, he doesn't support me, he goes and fights someone else. But Sniper is that type of hero. You have to jump on him and deal with him quickly. And this BKB, as the third item, has allowed him to just not be locked down at all. You know, you think Nemiga, they don't have anything that goes through BKB. They don't have any lockdown for him. So BKBs you have to chase.
Oh, they do, KP. It's called God Strength.
That's one way of looking at it, if you can stay on top of him. But with 476 movement speed, phase boots, yeah, I think you can do that.
The best form of lockdown is enough damage to kill them. That's what Sven brings to the table.
Now, Gareth, I think you've been drinking a little bit too much of the pub Kool-Aid there.
Daedalus Sven, dude. Who needs stuns when you got damage?
Hi, I'm a glass cannon, but I'm not really made of glass. It's more like meteorite or something tough.
I'm made from obsidian.
The obsidian carry.
The obsidian carry cannon. Oh, that's a mule. Oh, man. Stack charge on Wraith King is hyper valuable.
Uh-oh.
This is going to be interesting. I see death in the future of Keeper of the Light.
You're more of a death prophet, a nature prophet. Either way, They're acting a little bit like an oracle. And they have got some saves on the side of Nemiga. Chosen one shot, but the Soulbind comes out. They're in trouble with the stomp on it too. BKB though. Citrax stays low, goes straight down. Ignis as well, trying to escape the Stampede. They'll be able to retreat. They get the 2 kills and they do get away. Citrax has to TP away as this BKB's running out soon. Big mistakes made there by the side of Nemiga, who fought. They just fought. Maybe if our Omni Knight's out front, this is fine, but this is why a lot of teams have been running as a support. You want to be able to not be locked down. You want to be able to try and get that GA off. Doesn't work very well if you're instantly silenced and stunned.
Matt, you know when you go to the seaside or you go to a swimming pool and the water's too cold, you dip your toe in and you just do that shiver and you get goosebumps and you run up and down, do a little dance. That's what Sven did there. He couldn't stick on a target. He realized 2 of his teammates blown out of the water immediately by the Soulbind initiation. Even going into that area dark, Vega still just have to click a couple of buttons. They've got the easier form of initiation where they Soulbind, Blink Stomp, Stampede to disengage, then they re-engage again, allowing the sniper to position himself into an area at which he cannot get engaged upon. And Sven realized very quickly, without backup, without stuns, without the safeguard of the Omni Knight, he cannot continue that team fight at all. So they just have to give it up to Vega.
It's kind of like, you know, when you do these, you see these kids doing these sports at school and they choose who that goes on their team, right? Like, I'll take John, I'll take Ricky. Imagine it, don't ignore that, it's an old man dying, it happens every day. Just imagine a scenario where instead of the captain choosing the team members, the other way around, because that's how Citrax feels right now. He's like, Sniper, no, I don't want to be on your team. Rubik, I don't want to be on your team. It's just running around, just pleading for someone to just please be on his side. And everyone is rejecting him. Sorry, I had a really rough time at school.
It's okay, we all did. That's why we play. That's why we play video game. That's why we play, watch, and cast Dota 2.
Video games can't reject me unless my save game corrupts. All runes secured. 30-minute mark for Vega. Stacks your gold lead pretty nicely. Actually, look at this right now. They're dealing with
Sven really nicely by ignoring him. He's getting the cold shoulder treatment. No one wants to be his friend.
He's swiping left on Tinder all the time, and no one is swiping left for him.
Yeah, but this game still is on a knife edge. Like, we can look at the metrics all we want. Nearly a 10k lead for Vega, 14 to 18 at 30 minutes. They've got Sniper against OD, Wraith King against Sven. But at the drop of a hat, this game could really change very quickly. The Wraith King doesn't have a BKB, so he could very well get bogged down in that kind of the swamp, the mire that is the Will-O-Wisp. And that Earth Spirit slowing you down in these team fights. Sven outputs inordinate amounts of damage still. You know, he's struggled to stick on a target, but once he gets onto someone, if he's able to make that initial jump and blow someone up with this level 3 God Strength, this Nemiga side, they can swing into action very quickly with an OD ulti.
The problem I see right now for them is really this Earth Spirit and his build. He's going for a BKB next. I feel like this team would benefit a lot from a Spirit Vessel when you see a Wraith King who's not going BKB and has a Centaur on the team as well. Disarm out Sven. Oh, Ignis gets dropped down. BKB from Mello. Trying to chase forward, but Stampede comes out. And now GPK was BKB. Says, where the hell are you going? Come back here. Soulbind looking two together. BKB comes out for Citrax. The Omni Knight needs to retreat. We'll get rid of the silence. Stun comes out with the Rubik. Force stuff to get him away. Citrax needs to retreat because the BKB's run out soon. Stop! Timed perfectly by Last Hero to find the Sven. The important target found. And the GA way too late from the Chosen One. I mean, if that is how you choose your Chosen One, then I'll pass. Because that GA was at least a second too late.
Rubik has GA now as well.
I feel like Vega, they got sick of being called the Dire Heroes. This is their base now. They were always seen as the good guys. They want to be the good guys.
For me, that is a prime example of why these plateau areas are so important. We talked a little bit in the previous game about the Dire one in the kind of the northeast of the map, right, where you're able to dip between mid and bottom lane. Top lane is very similar. The Dire team wants to play from this top shrine area to make sure they can play in to that top lane, into the mid lane, and you get this situation where Sniper BKBs, they move in onto the OD who's shoving out that wave. Dire come past the shrine, they move forward, but they have the two-pronged attack. They have that nice little split attack coming in from multiple angles, where the Grimstroke, almost frame perfect, gets the Soul Bind and a bit of damage onto the Sven as he God Strength BKBs and is about to blink on the Sniper. Sniper's BKB was wearing out. Sven, I'm pretty sure he had his finger on that blink dagger ready to go. He was going to jump on Sniper, blow him up, but no. The Grimstroke is there because of the ramps, because of the positioning from the Dire team, getting into an area where they can pivot from a kill into an objective, and they take control of the exact right piece of terrain on the map at the right time.
You mentioned the Soul Binds would be key for Vega, and you know, it's not about a big wombo combo, as we've seen. It's about literally just forcing a bad BKB out of Zitrax. If you do that, this Sven isn't able to jump the sniper, as you mentioned. He's just free to wail on them as he chooses, and it's going to get more worrisome because he's going towards a butterfly next. Not to mention, once he gets to that level 25, you can just go for the attack range, and well, you don't have to be anywhere near the fight. Suddenly, your Grimstroke is your frontliner, just ensuring he gets the Soulbind out before he dies. Mentioning plays is important here because the next play could be a decisive one. Nemiga, they're missing a tower and a Rax in the mid lane. 1 melee Rax left. At that point, you really feel like you got mega creeped, even though you haven't truly been. And Zani going for the range first. Assassinate to slow down Mellow to make sure you just can't blink in. It was already in cooldown though. Oh, stun. Jump in. Zitrax, that's way too soon though. Now the GA goes down. The Ignis being used. They're trying to bounce out from the back line, but TPK gets rid of the Ignis. Stampede, land on retreat and turn around. Forced up on the high ground. Now TPK has control of the fight. Soulbind, linking the two together. They're stunned up. They're going to just wail into him. Zitrax, he was tanky for a while, but not anymore. OD drops the use of the stats, but it's not good enough. They're dead, and this is looking all but over. As the GG comes out, they know they've lost this one. And Vega.
Pew, pew.
Pew pew indeed. Sniper here, ensuring you can do nothing but die.
Man, Sniper there has the Stampede, has the Hurricane Pike, has the Force Staff, has the save from the Rubik and the Grimstroke, has the Wraith King to tank up for him. He's just drifting around all over the place. Sniper's up on the cliff top, he's down off the cliff top, he's up again, he's down again, he's Scardy slowing you, he's right-clicking you, he's double assassinating with the Grimstroke Soulbind. There was nothing there Nemiga could do after. Sure, it looked like a false start from the Sven, jumped a little bit early in, didn't have the full follow-up of the Odie, the Kotl, and the Earth Spirit quite there. But drastic situations call for drastic measures. They needed to make a move right there, right then. The call was made, Sven goes in. It was the last fight of the game as Vega Squadron had mounted a pretty powerful assault on that Radiant base already. There was not much left for Nemiga to do. Really nicely played by Vega Squadron, honestly. The lane setup into the mid-game play from the Centaur, Grimstroke, and Rubik, the way that they knew their timings. It can be difficult when Sniper isn't played that often anymore to fit a hero like that into a draft, but knowing the timings of the Wraith King, the Sniper, the Centaur, all fitting together nicely, thanks in part to Last Hero going Vanguard, Cloak, Blink, which allowed him to be tanky and be that primary initiator, allowed the two supports of Vega Squadron to survive and get their skills off. It was great.
Well, yeah, no, Sniper definitely having a huge impact in that game, but maybe this is what they've been doing. They are Vega Academy now. They're looking to revolutionize. Maybe they're trying to bring it full circle. Eventually we'll get back to Sniper Troll metas. Maybe, not quite with the new ultimate, but you can find a way to make it work. We'll find out what Vega have in store later on, but what we need to find out next is whether Nemiga learned anything from that game. And what better way, after kind of just getting pummeled to death, to just see if you were educated correctly than by going up against one of the favorites in these qualifiers. They're going to be facing off against Gambit Esports next. Nemiga and Gambit Esports next up in just a few minutes. Stay tuned.